What it is, guys. All right, guys. So today we got on a very special person who I've known for a while. He's actually all the way in Canada. Okay, so shout out to all my Canadians. Um, and he's going to be talking to us about trading. All right. I know there's different categories and everything, so I'll let him get into it. And let's go ahead and bring him on here. Josh,
Hey, what's up, buddy?
what's going on, man?
Always good, man. Always good. Happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. How you feeling? Good?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Always good. Busy, but good. It's good.
So talk to us, man. Why forex or
Yeah.
trading?
Yeah.
I know
It's
you
kind
do
of
a couple different trading.
yeah. So it's a kind of it's a long story. Just kind of giving you a bit of a background. It was actually pre-COVID that I got into it. It kind of hit one of those walls where I went, holy shit, what am I going to do? And I started getting into that. And, I've been in sales and in the online space for, almost a decade. And I always like the idea of getting paid based on my performance. I've
Yep.
done everything under the sun as far as sales and door-to-door sales and tree planting and firefighting and like working with kids, coach gymnastics, taught kids yoga. And, I've always been into health and wellness and meditating, and it kind of segued. I actually got into bartending and serving right before COVID hit. COVID hit, and obviously everybody knows how that went. And I kind of had a light bulb moment and went, "Holy, what am I going to do?" And actually, my
Yep.
first stint into trading, I lost a bunch of money. I was not interested in learning how to trade at all. I put some money with a broker. They ended up running away with it. I was absolutely
Mm.
debilitated, and I made a decision to pick myself back up. I got into automated trading, and then kind of segued into a platform that taught you how to trade. And even that, I didn't want to learn. I just wanted to copy people's trades, and because I knew that people were making money. I didn't even know what forex was. Like I thought it was the number 4x, and it's forex, foreign exchange, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I haven't even been trading that long, like a year and a half, and it's kind of just snowballed into automation and what I'm doing now. And so it's been and a lot of people get stocks, stocks and forex when they think trading, they think stocks, and I don't really mess around with stocks. Um, I
Okay.
like I like forex. It's like 8 times the size. I think it's like a $7 or $8 trillion day industry. They're open, 24/5. Forex or stocks is a little more limited as far as when you can trade and what you can trade. And so I've never really messed around with stocks. I've just kind of messed around with a little bit of crypto as well as really, really dove deep into Forex.
So there is crypto involved in that then.
Yeah, yeah. So you can trade crypto on the platform that I use is MT4, so MetaTrader. A lot of brokers do offer the ability to trade crypto, so you can do it leveraged. Some people use crypto.com or Binance, and they'll actually buy and hold crypto and sell it and exchange it versus
Yeah.
being leveraged. So with a broker, where you're actually you're leveraged, you're trading with lot sizing and it's a different ball game. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's funny cuz I was scrolling through my Facebook earlier, and I mean, like right before this interview, somebody asked on Facebook and I took a screenshot of it. Um that they don't understand this, so they're kind of curious about cryptocurrency, but
Mm.
don't understand how it's a sustainable form of money. They said even on the multiple listing, you can broker load to accept cash loans or cryptocurrency. If anybody would like to chime in, so I took a screenshot just to kind of
Yeah.
see your perspective on that.
Yeah, so I don't even try to pretend to be a crypto expert. I've only been in crypto for about as long as I've been trading. Actually, that's how I didn't even know how to send crypto until I kind of got into trading. And so, from what I understand, is that different cryptocurrencies serve different purposes, and
Yeah,
things like XRP. A lot of people know Ethereum or Bitcoin.
yeah,
They're designed XRP specifically. I know a lot of the banks are buying the shit out of that because it's the slowest thing in the world right now that travels is money. And so it's really XRP specifically is built for transactions. My girlfriend actually wrote this little mini ebook on the
oh,
functions of
that's cool.
Tron and XRP and Ethereum and Bitcoin, and there's a lot of bullshit out there. You got to be careful of the pump and dump
Yeah.
coins like
Yeah.
Doge and Kishu Inu and Galaxium and all of these. It's really hard to sift through the garbage. So you
Yeah.
do have to be really mindful about kind of what you're doing and do your research, because there are a lot of different projects. If you think about the US dollar or something like the euro or the yen, cryptocurrency is kind of this decentralized system of a new age currency, if that makes sense.
So what you think in the next 20 years it could be something that does
Yeah,
something?
I think that's the route that we're going, to be honest. I mean, it could, the thing is it could tank tomorrow, could completely
Of
disappear.
course, of
Um,
course.
I don't think it'll ever get shut down. You look
I
at
mean, banks are
Bitcoin.
going into it.
Yeah, exactly. That's really
Yeah,
like guys like
that
JP
should be a
Morgan.
clue.
What's that?
That should be a clue.
Yeah. Yeah, banks are buying it. Probably, right? And there's every 4 years there's a huge bull run, no matter what market you're in. So markets go up and they crash, and
Yeah,
we're just on the tail end of a bull run right now.
yeah.
So I think markets will crash, but I mean, I'm not an expert. I just look at the charts and kind of do my thing. But I think Bitcoin was like 30 cents a piece in 2009, and now it's like just under 50K or something like that, which is insane. Even 8 months ago when I got into Ethereum, it was like 500 a piece. Now it's like
Oh,
$5,000.
I know, I know, I
It's
know.
insane, right?
And there goes my skeptical self, just watching those profits like not be in my pocket.
Right? I know. It's always there. Yeah,
So you say you're not an expert in crypto. So what is it exactly that you've been? Because I don't really know the ins and out of all this trading stuff. I've
yeah,
tried it, lost money, of
yeah,
course.
yeah, totally. And I think, how do I say this? Like, what's the saying? You have to be, in order to really be an expert in something, you got to do it for like 10,000
Ten
hours.
thousand hours. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And so I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I'd say I'm a heck of a lot better than I was a year and a half ago. Actually, designing my own software that trades for me, as well as an indicator. I have the indicators already. I use it, and basically it notifies me when there's a setup in the market. And so I only trade gold. I'll trade Ethereum every once in a while, but I from day one I've only focused on gold. Anytime that I trade, try to trade Euro Yen or USD CAD or any currencies, I lose money. And so I think that's a sign for me to stop
yeah,
swaying off that way. And so, um, yeah, when it comes to manual trading, it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not an easy thing. If you think about like learning how to read and learning the alphabet and what kind of process that was and
yeah,
telling time, it's kind of like the combination of learning the alphabet and telling the time. Once
for
you have
sure.
the alphabet, you can read a book. Once you understand the structure of how a clock works, you can tell the time. And
Yeah,
so I've put in 15-hour days every day for a really long time, back testing and developing my software, um, mainly because the most amount of money that I lost in the market was because I was rushing. I was over leveraged. I was
yeah,
trading on a live account when I wasn't ready. And so what I've really focused on doing is created some automation. And I have other softwares that I run. Mainly my focus is building that to help take the pressure off. If I have a
mm,
software that's running and doing 10-15% a month, just on its own, then I miss a session, I miss a New York or Tokyo session, and I'm not stressed out because I'm not
yeah,
forcing myself into the market. If I miss a setup, and I have a notification on my phone, like I have software that says, hey, your gold setup setting up, and I can sit down instead of sitting in front of the screen for 3, 4, 5 hours a day now,
yeah.
right? It's taking a long time to get there.
Well, was that the notification that just went off?
No, no, I got something else.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were talking about sessions. What sessions do you like to trade in the most?
I like trade New York. So
So that would be nine to
gold.
five, right?
Well, that's your time. So I'm on
Yeah, it's my
PST,
time.
yeah, so like 6. It
Six.
depends on the time change. New York opens anywhere between 5 and 6, depending on when the depending on what your GMT2 or whatever broker you're
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Usually like, oh, how long ago was it? I don't know. There was a time shift, but I was able to get up later and trade New York for 6, and then
yeah.
now I have to like get up at 5. So I like
Gotcha.
New York. If I honestly, I thought about moving to Greece because
What?
New York starts at 9 a.m. there, and then London starts at 9 p.m. So there's an overlap from London, like Tokyo into London and London into New York, where the markets are crazy and everything goes really fast. And it's just easier. My strategy is a momentum strategy, and it's just easier to trade.
Nice, nice. And so you said forex. So so the gold will fall into the forex?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not like I'm like buying a stock in gold.
Okay.
The currency pair is XAU USD. So it's basically the same thing as like USD CAD, USD CAD, or Euro Yen. It's just you're basically buying and selling the strength and weakness to each currency. So if you're buying XAU USD, you're actually buying to the strength of gold. So you're saying gold is stronger than the US dollar right now. If you're selling
But when
it,
you're on those charts,
yeah,
how can you tell the difference? Because there's not like hey, this is strong level. I mean, because if you I think it's called back testing.
yeah,
If you back test 6 months back,
it's
dude,
different.
it was like all the way up here, and now it's all the way up here. So I can't
Yeah.
even tell what's a strong.
Yeah, so there's different ways to read the market. I really like using moving averages. It's the simplest way. I'll use support and resistance, moving averages, price action, and
And
you
can
can.
you explain that to the audience real quick,
Yeah,
if you can, if there even is a way to explain it?
yeah. So basically, like in any market, there's always going to be a floor and a ceiling, right? And
Okay.
so a lot of traders, they strictly just trade off floors and ceilings.
Yeah.
You can base price off of a floor and know that's going to hit this point and buy, or hit this point and sell. And that's all obviously
Yeah.
relative.
Yeah.
And really the biggest thing is risk management. If you could be wrong more times than you're right, as long as you have proper risk management. So if you have
Yeah.
like a 1 to 10 or a 1 day risk to reward, so you're risking $1 in order to make 10, you
Yeah.
could be wrong, what, 50 something, well, even more than that,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
70% of the
Exactly.
time, and still make money, right? So
Exactly.
a lot of people will read the markets differently. Moving averages, basically, it'll show you, a 20-day moving average or a 50-day moving average. There's patterns. It's honestly really simple. There are actually indicators that show you, this market's really overbought. There's momentum that's going this way. It doesn't mean that the market's definitely going to go this way, but I've got about 7 or 8 basically things that I check through that are confirmations that say if this is doing this,
Gotcha.
this is doing this, and then all right, it's going to go up. And I
Yeah.
scalp, so I'm in on the market really quick.
Really?
Yeah,
I was gonna ask you that too. Why
yeah.
why do you prefer scalping over the long term
I,
trading?
I don't know if it's because I don't have the patience or I don't
Yeah,
like.
same here, same here.
I've tried, man. I'm always checking my phone, and I'm like,
I
oh,
know, right?
am I profit? Did I hit stop loss? And like over and over, and
That's the thing with trading. Once you're in, yo,
yeah,
it's like they say don't be glued to the computer, but you
yeah.
just can't help it. You're just
You're
there.
good. You're good. And it's part of the process. Like, especially becoming a new trader, like you don't trust your trades. There's no,
Yeah.
I didn't. And I was trading on a live account. I blew way too many accounts way too soon. Like all I did was rush losing money. It was stupid. It was so dumb. But I'm happy I did it because like I remember I sold one of my old shitty cars, a 92 Jetta, to put money in my trading account just so I could blow the account. Like it was,
But
yeah, I was just,
hey,
oh,
I
man.
mean experience. And
Yeah,
when
yeah.
do you feel like demo accounts you don't get like the same type of practice?
No,
Because
you
that's how
do.
I feel. You
I was
do?
an idiot. Yeah. I have a buddy that's like, dude, I can't mess with demos because I don't take it seriously. And
Exactly.
even when I'm trying out a new strategy, what I've done, and I've reverted back to using a demo account. I'm not stressed out. I'm not getting out
Yeah,
early.
that's true.
I'm just trying something new, right? And so,
That's true.
but I have a lot of friends that it hits the exact same. They're like, no, I'm not messing around with demos. Like,
I just feel like when I get on the demo accounts, I don't know. I feel like when I'm in with my money,
yeah,
my money's being manipulated.
yeah.
And then on the demo accounts, they're like, yeah, go ahead and win. Go ahead and win.
See, and that's the thing. You got to be careful with the broker that you're using. I'm lucky
Yeah.
enough to be in Canada. One of the brokers that I use isn't actually regulated to be in Canada. So for anybody that's out there that's looking to learn how to trade, a few things that are really important is making sure your broker's an A book broker. There are some B book brokers that they hedge the trades, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But basically, A booking is they make money when you make money. B booking is they make money when you lose money. So
Mm.
if you have 100, 200, $300,000 accounts, you don't want those markets being manipulated. You want to win when you
Yeah.
win and lose when you lose,
And
right?
how
And
can you tell?
There's a few that you can actually. I have like written affidavits for a couple of the brokers that I work with that say we're the straight up A booking,
Wow.
and your funds are insured. So most brokers, a lot of them, they're not actually regulated to, just because it's a regulated broker doesn't mean it's a good thing. And so a lot of brokers that operate in the States aren't regulated. If they're offering, a 1 to 500 leverage, something weird's going on. And most brokers keep your trading funds in their own business funds. So if they go bankrupt and they go under, your funds are gone. Right. And so I actually use Juno Markets, and our funds are actually kept with the liquidity providers. So if they ever went
Wow.
bankrupt, my funds are insured and they're completely separate. So you have to
Wow.
do your due diligence for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And you said you lost money with a broker one time, man. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so that was like some. I look back and I'm like, how would I be so dumb? To be honest, it was this. Yeah, it was this online. You get all these crypto Ponzi's and different
Yeah.
platforms that are like automate your trading, and it was one of those things where it was like automated trading. They claim to be a legit broker, and the thing is I put a little bit of money in, and I was able to withdraw it, and I was like, holy shit, this is insane! Like how they did
Yeah.
this overnight, and then I put
Yeah.
more in, and then it was one of those things that was like, oh, to withdraw the rest of your funds like 2 weeks later, they're like, you need this licensing and this and this, and I was just,
What?
oh my god, yeah, it was a total sham. Like I got screwed, but it was a good
Wow.
learning lesson, and
For
I got
sure.
into another platform, and then I learned how to trade, and now I am here, and I'm like, doesn't even, yeah, it's weird. It's weird to think that, yeah,
And what do you think is a common myth in trading?
that you can't make money. Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't work. If it didn't work for you, you didn't have the right mentorship, and you didn't put enough time in.
Yeah,
Um, I think it's like anything. It's like, oh, eating healthy doesn't work, or going to the gym
exactly.
didn't work for me. It's like, no, you
Exactly.
didn't try hard enough.
Exactly. And it takes time,
It
right?
takes time, exactly.
For
And
anything.
yeah, and I've been lucky enough to be, to have the time freedom where my income is supplemented from a lot of the other stuff that I got going on, and I've been able to, I'm creating my automated software, and I've literally had 15-hour days sitting in front of the screen. This last 6 months, my trading has gone from, you know, I don't want to say 0 to 100, but 80 to 120, and it's just
Yeah.
sitting in front of the time and in front of the screen and taking the time, and the strategy is developed so much, but because I've put the time in and I've watched the markets and I've picked one thing and I've gotten really good at it, and I'm really excited to share my software, my indicator, and teach people my strategy, because I know that a lot of people are struggling and with the same things that I struggled with, right? So
I mean, would you mind telling us, I mean, briefly, your process and before you hit that trade button? I mean,
yeah,
to the
yeah,
best of your ability?
100%. Yeah. So I have certain moving averages that I use. I have a custom built indicator on the bottom. It's RSI mixed with some moving averages. So basically, RSI is the relative. It's measuring relative strength. So how do I say this? Basically, it'll show you highs and lows in the market. Now, just because something is high doesn't mean you sell it. Just because
Hmm.
something's low doesn't mean you
Hmm.
buy it. And so I'll use certain indications or certain indicators, certain moving averages. When they cross, it'll be either continuation in trend or it'll be a pullback, and I get on a reversal. But the biggest thing is I'm looking at the higher time frames, and I'm watching trend. I can see, if you place a 200 moving average on a 15-minute chart, you can see that if it's above, it's going up. If it's below, it's going down. And there are smaller moving averages that, it's a pretty well-known thing that certain ones cross at certain times. It just means that the market's going to go a certain way. It
Yeah.
just measures, you can measure buying and selling power in the market. And my indicator also tells me buying and selling power in the market that's built into the actual software. And so basically, I'm looking for trend on the higher time frames to make sure I know what I'm doing on the lower ones. That if market's going down, it's either going to pull back and bounce up, or it's a
How
full.
high do you usually go
What do you mean?
on the time frames?
Oh, I'll go all the way to the 4 hour. So 4 hour,
Okay.
15 minute. I make all my entries based off the 1 and the 5 minute. And so I'm trying to catch like 10 to 50 pips. Really, if you risk, and this is relatively aggressive, if you risk 5% of your account every single trade, and you catch, so that's a 50 pip stop loss, full lot size on like a 10K account. If you catch anywhere from 20 to 50 pips in a day, that's 2 to 5% a day, which is insane. Like you make 20% a month is game over, right? And it's really not difficult to do. And the risk to reward on that, a lot of people say 1 to 5 in the opposite direction isn't great. But the way that I trade is that if I have a sell set up, sometimes it'll be a fake out and there'll be a buy entry right there. And a lot of the times it doesn't come up and hit my stop loss. I'll actually exit the trade and get into an opposite position and ride that. And so I'm just setting those stop losses as kind of like a safety net, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. So that's pretty much the whole process?
Yeah, pretty much. Just identify trend, and that's the biggest thing. And then look where strength is and figure out, am I trading the trend or am I getting on a reversal?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you're trading mostly gold, you said, on New York time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll jump in.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll jump into Tokyo every once in a while. Kind of when I want to test something out, just because it's really slow. Tokyo, my time opens at like 6 p.m. And it does really weird shit. But any from like 4:30 p.m. PST to like 6:30, it does big moves, but it does them. I don't know. It's different. Gold is respect structure. That's really crypto does not. Sometimes at 2:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday, it'll just tank for absolutely no reason, right? So
and what's one thing you would say that turned out to be pretty successful, in your trading experience, maybe from like what you were doing a year ago?
Yeah, the psychology.
Something you didn't expect.
The psychology. Trading is 90% psychological.
Very true.
And 5% risk management, 5% strategy is really what it breaks down to. I did figure out if that added up to 100 for a minute. And so really the psychology. I used to be really afraid of getting in the market and then getting out early. And now I have clear exit strategies where I know that if this goes here, I'm getting out of that trade. And another thing that's really cool is that the indicator that I have is semi-automatic. So the one thing that was really difficult for me when I first started out was counting pips and figuring out lot sizing. And figuring out my stop loss and trying to count it and do it all at the same time. And when I first started, I didn't realize that I don't like swing trading. I don't like intraday trading. I like
what's swing trading and what's just explain all three if you can.
Yeah. So swing trading is more like swing traders can be in a trade for anywhere from like a couple of days to weeks to months. Intraday is shorter time frame, more like a day, few hours maybe. And scalping is like quick within in and out. And I'll even though I'm scalping, the other day I sat down for like 25 minutes and I made 3%. Yesterday, I sat down. Oh wait, no, it's Monday day. End of the week, I sat down. I was in front of the screen at like really late, like 7 a.m. But I sat in front of the screen until like 11, and I was in my entry, and it was just like, holy crap, it's not dogging to where I want it to go. And so there's moments like that, but usually 11 hits, and whether I'm in profit or not, I'm out of the trade. I'm done. I've made money or lost my money, and I'm out.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, man, that's something that moves like really fast. I mean, especially scalping.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you do it. Why is it that people say that scalping doesn't work though?
I mean, I don't know if people say that scalping doesn't work. Probably because
things that I've read and seen. You know what I mean? Like,
why
would it be?
Because it's hard. I think that especially for, I don't know. I know really good swing traders that have no scalping game at all. And my long game is shit. I'll look at a 4-hour chart and think, I think it's going there, and it'll go in the opposite direction. It's really not easy. Trading in general is not easy, but it's because price can move so fast. Watching something like a 1 minute time frame,
you might miss it.
Yeah, or you might miss it. You might get in late. There's a lot of fake outs, right? And so a lot of people say 1 minute's too choppy. I like it better because you got to think about, how do I say this? Trend is more established on the higher time frames, but everything happens first on the lower time frames. So I want to know what it's been doing for the last 3 days, last month, last 15 minutes, and I want to make that, accurate decision in the next few minutes. Where am I going to go with this thing, right? So that's kind of my.
But do you really feel like back testing it will give you an accurate like future thing? I
I
mean,
mean,
what's really going on in the market? Like
yeah,
for people that don't know, I mean, I've kind of heard some things of what those charts are really showing.
yeah,
But I mean, if you can explain it, what's really going on when you're looking at these lines and these bulbs and
yeah. So how do I say this? There's a lot of manipulation going on in the market. Whales will sit in the market for months. So they'll actually,
whales being the banks?
yeah, banks, big money. So what they'll do is they'll actually, they'll say they set a sell position right here. Then what they'll do is they'll set a buy position at a bigger point and push the market up. And then they'll set other positions and then move the market back down so they can get out of their original sell. And so there's a lot of, basically, if you're making money in the market, somebody else is losing. That's
Of
really what it
course.
is. It's buyers
And
and
how do we save ourselves from things like that? I mean, I know it's impossible. Well, I don't know if it's impossible, but I
yeah,
mean, is there a way to catch it?
yeah. So following, there's actually a whole strategy. I'm not super seasoned with it,
Yeah.
but trading with the banks. One of an educator that I worked with when I first started, he had a mentor that was a part of a hedge fund, and so his whole entire strategy is trading with the banks. And actually, there's a trader on my team, the one that I was telling you about, this amazing swing trader. He does a whole training on how the banks trade, and so you can really start to, if you understand how somebody else is trading,
Hmm.
then you can kind of figure out how the markets are moving. And so, for instance, like Australia went into that lockdown the other day. Um, Currencies like Aussie franc, Aussie yen, they plummeted. They went lower than they've been in like over 3 or 4 years, like just insane. And so news will affect the markets. There's a lot of push and pull in it. So there's a lot of factors. That's why I like scalping. What banks will
Yeah.
do is they can see all of the orders, so they can see everyone's buys,
Really?
take profits are, where they're going to get kicked,
Wow.
where their stop losses are. So just to paint a picture, if I enter here, I think, and for a buy, I think the market's going to go here, but I'll set a stop loss here so that my entire account doesn't blow, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
safety measures. So banks see that. What they'll do is they'll move the markets down, hit your stop loss, and then it'll go up to where you anticipated. And so I'm in and out of the market before the banks even realize that I was there. That's kind of that's my strategy, at least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And do you have any books that you'd recommend to people?
No, actually, I don't. I run and educate. Like I don't. I'm
Like for
part of a.
trading, for
Yeah,
trading.
yeah. I haven't actually read any books, just videos that I've
Just been
watched.
hands on.
Yeah, just been hands on, just charts, videos, working with other traders, but the platform that I run has automated trading, and they've also got an education platform as well that makes it really, really easy for people. One of the educators, his name's Nathan Williams. He does a lot of training on how the banks trade, and one of the softwares that he designed it so that his 10-year-old daughter could explain it. So
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
those zones, what he's got an indicator with the bank zones basically as support and resistance. Red zone, there's an arrow, you sell. Green zone, there's an arrow, you buy. And he made it so that his 10-year-old daughter could explain it. I've got guys that are coming in that, if I could say that I was a profitable trader within 3 months, it'd be game over. And I've got people coming in and they're jumping on the platform, and they're profitable within a few months, and it's insane. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's
it's
crazy.
cool.
And what's the minimum amount of money that somebody can trade with?
You could trade $100 if you really
Oh,
wanted
really?
to. Yeah, oh yeah.
And then can you explain the lot sizes?
Yeah, so basically, a lot size is like an increment of measurement of leverage. So like a zero point zero 0.01, we'll just use gold for instance.
Yeah.
0.01 is 10 cents, zero point 0.1 is a dollar, 1.0 is 10, 10.0 is obviously 100. And so
Okay.
basically, like for every, if you look at gold again, for every
That's
dollar that gold moves, it's 10 pips. So if you have basically a zero point zero 0.01 and it goes 10 pips, it'd be 10 cents per pip. So that's how your risk management comes into it. And it's kind of a weird concept to integrate, especially the buying and selling. But it's really nice to be part of a platform that makes it really easy for people, because that was the hardest thing to learn.
Cool. So you guys have a whole platform and everything
Yeah.
to teach people.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, the biggest thing, I didn't start with this platform. I'm actually I'm on the developer team with the platform,
Wow.
and which is really cool. So we're releasing our indicator, and then also the automated software. We were going to release the automated software first, but we're actually integrating. This kind of touches on one of your questions. We're integrating neural network, and so it'll actually get smarter as it operates. It'll realize the highs and lows and what bad entries were, and not get into them next time. And yeah, so we're doing the indicator first, just because it's ready, and I want to teach people the strategy. And the most diluted thing that I found was lot sizing, pips, different currencies, and how to measure and to be part of a platform that makes it really, really simple. It's just an empowering process to see people actually, be successful with it.
So I do want to ask you about that, right?
Yeah.
The automated system you have. But
Mhm.
first, really quick, I want to know. So, if when you're going into a trade, how many pips would you say, like a ratio, that you would have, from stop loss to, I don't know the terminology
Take profit.
of take profit, right?
Yeah.
So, if you could
Yeah.
explain that.
So basically, I've got my indicator, and so it's semi-automatic, and so I actually preset the settings before I take the trade. So I just
Nice.
go in and I set 50 pip stop loss, like a full lot size, and then I want to take 80% of my bag after this many pips, and this is my full take profit, and then take the rest. And so usually I'll set a 50 pip stop loss, just because on the 1 minute, generally speaking, from my entry, I play off support and resistance. So if you
Uh-huh.
think about, I say price is here and the last point of support is here, and I'm buying, I'm going to set my stop loss a little below this, because if it
A little
breaks
bit
this point, it's probably going to continue to sell.
Yeah.
And so I just set that as more of a mental stop loss, because a lot of the time gold will shoot up and go the opposite way. And if I set it too close, and it'll wick and then bounce off, or if I set it too far away, then I'm over leveraged. And so usually I'll have a 50 pip stop loss and a 50 pip take profit. So I've got a 1-to-1.
Oh, 1-to-1.
Yeah, but I'll take out my bag way early. And sometimes I'm an aggressive trader, and sometimes I'll set, when I'm like confident, I'll set multiple positions going in the same direction. So instead of having to catch 30 pips, I only have to catch 10, and I got 3 entries, and I'm in and out within 10 minutes. But
Oh, you could do multiple.
yeah, but I've also tripled my risk, but I didn't really, because even if that position is going to turn around, I'm going to get out way earlier than the 50 pips, and I'm going to get into a position in the opposite direction. So I might lose 10 pips, 15, 20 pips, but I've also gained that on the next position that I open the opposite direction. So
Now,
this, yeah.
yeah. Now, do you feel that certain brokers are like delayed?
Not
When
that I've used. The ones that I've
no?
used, I've heard that. Something you got to be really careful with is binary, so pocket options, or what's another? IQ Cent is another one. And so it's binary. You can do crypto, stocks, forex, and it's basically, instead of pips or stop losses or anything like that, it's
Yeah.
calls and puts. So basically, it's a time frame. So you say in 3 minutes, this price is going to be higher than where it is now, and you click buy or you click sell.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's hella delay. Like, it's crazy. Like if you're doing like 30-second trades or 1 minute trades, sometimes I'll click buy or I'll click sell, and it'll be like 3 seconds, and then it'll enter. So if you're trying to scalp, yeah, probably the most amount. Well, not the most amount of money, but yeah, binary for me is just a casino. I'm
Yeah.
so bad at it. Like, so
So
bad.
what? So what you do isn't binary.
No, I do forex.
You're
Yeah,
forex,
yeah,
gold,
yeah.
and then the binary. And what are you trading with that?
Binary, you can trade anything. You can. It's fun. Like it, but it's like I've flipped accounts. Like I've doubled, tripled accounts.
Well, what are you trading? Like, what's
Um,
going on there?
same thing. You could trade
Oh,
forex,
same thing. Oh wow.
stocks. Like you could trade McDonald's,
Oh wow.
crypto. But it's like there's a lot of manipulation that goes in with
Yeah.
binary.
Yeah.
and the delayed entries and stuff like you're talking.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
talk to us about your automation software. What's going
Yeah.
on with that? It sounds like it'd be perfect for me.
Yeah. And I think that what do I say? So kind of segue into why I remember having the epiphany where I would lose money because I was missing entries. And I was realizing, like, holy shit, let's create an indicator. Like, let's create something that's going to tell me, hey, your setup is setting up in the market. And this was like over a year ago. I didn't even know. I knew that there were automation platforms, but I didn't know there were actually automated softwares. And I launched this crypto project, and I met somebody within that the ecosystem, and he started pitching me about these softwares. Then I was super arrogant, and I was like, no, man, I'm good. Like, I've got my trading. I don't need any supplement or anything like that. And I decided to keep an open mind, and I got on a call with his name's Mike Sancho. He's like one of the he's plugged into corporate with Avoria, and he got on a call with us and with one of my other partners and I, and we were pitched within 5 minutes, and we were on an hour call with him. We just wanted to get going, and I had no idea how to run these things, and I threw a bunch of money in demos first, and then I had some confidence of how to run these, and I just kind of started rolling with it. And something that Sancho had said was, "Hey, if you know anybody that's got a strategy, we're always looking for to bring on more softwares and profitable traders and blah blah blah." And that's kind of where I was segued and went, "Well, I have one." And I think it was November last year. It was like day before my birthday. November 25th, we were moving, and I got into this platform, this automated platform. And it's not something you plug your money into and you let it and set it and forget it. You have full control. It's your broker. Withdraw whenever you want. You have full control over the settings. You can get on calls with the developers, and they teach you how to run the software.
Wow.
That kind of snowballed, and I've been developing my strategy for the last the strategy for a year and a half, the software for a good 9 months, 10 months. And so it segued. It started off as an indicator first. And then I realized I don't want to do the indicator. Let's do full automation. And then it went back to the indicator. And it was almost like the universe was like, you need to pick this strategy apart and rebuild it. And that's exactly what I did for the last back testing and making it better and changing confirmations. And now we have some more time to kind of sit back, and I wanted to make it accessible for people that don't have the desire to trade. My mom and my sister and my grandma, they're not going to learn how to trade. They don't want to learn the skill set. But the banks aren't paying them. Their mutual funds accounts, it's really a 5% a year. I have got my dad's account. It did 40% in the last, I think he threw 10K in, and it's just sitting at just about 15 right now in 4 months. And so to give him the accessibility, that's kind of my vision. And how it's snowballed, and now segueing into the indicator, actually being able to sit down and teach people the things, how to conquer the things that I struggled with. The mental stuff, everything that comes along with trading.
What are some of those things besides the mental?
Proper risk management, the emotion that goes into it. When you lose, you're going to have losing days, you're going to have losing trades. And you need to have an exit strategy. You need to figure out what point are you getting out of the market, and what's your goal? What's your long-term goal? And for me, it's not the money. As weird as that sounds, I've learned a lot about myself as a trader getting into this. It's the self-realization that comes into us. There's a massive spiritual component that a lot of people don't. I got goosebumps. A lot of people don't talk about it with business. Me too. The business, with even fitness or nutrition, anything that goes along with making money. It's not just making money. There's a divine intervention, if you will. And so be able to tune into that. And I've got a strict regimen of what I do before I trade. I've got breath work stuff that I do, meditation, and it's difficult because I try to be in front of the screen at 6 o'clock in the morning. That means I got to get up at 4:30 because I got to be awake and get my brain going and meditate. So figuring out a system that works for me as far as what kind of trader I am. I know I'm a scalper, how early I need to get up, and what kind of practices and principles do I need to implement. How do I avoid over trading or over leveraging or walking away when I've lost or walking away when I've won? I've had lots of, good days, and then I want to make it better, and then I lose money, and then I'm sitting there all day, long time ago, not now, but I'm sitting there all day, and I'm like, my girlfriend comes home, and I'm like, I made all my money back. Like,
What?
it's like, and then I lose it, and then I'm like, oh man, it's a push
So
and pull.
that's key, knowing when to stop trading
Yeah,
and things
balance.
like that. Now, I've heard traders say that, oh, I might take 3 trades a day and I'm out. Is that something you do, or?
Yeah. Like I took, um, let me see, what did I do today? I traded a little ETH today, which I never trade. Let me
Oh,
see.
crypto?
What's that? Yeah, crypto. Yeah, a little Ethereum. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I took 7 trades today. Wait, no,
Nice.
that's not right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, right. So sometimes what it'll do is it'll calculate because I take partials. So if I set, say, full lot size, I'll take a portion of the bag. It'll close out a portion, and then when it might hit take profit or break even, it'll close it out again. So I actually only made 3 trades today.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
you could like even split up trades.
Yeah. So you can basically your entry, and you're like, I'm gonna take 80% here, and then set my
Oh,
stop loss from here to here
nice,
so that it's risk free. So even if it pulls back, you didn't lose any money.
nice,
And
nice.
that's usually what I do when I'm in the trade. I'm stop loss break even like pretty immediately.
Now, when somebody gets on your platform, they have the whole training, and then what? Your indicator is going to come with that, and
Yeah,
then the indicator is what's going to um, allow them to get in and out,
yeah. So you can get in and out of the market at any time using. I use MetaTrader 4. So basically, the platform
and
is
that's a broker.
no. So you have a broker that they give you a MetaTrader 4 login, and then
Okay,
those are it's kind of MetaTrader 4 is like a middleman to your broker, if that makes sense.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so yeah, the platform has the softwares, the automation, and they've got the indicator, as well as yeah, the education, the software, the indicator, and all of the we run everything on a virtual private server, so you don't have to download anything on your computer. So you can bring up this system that's actually part of the platform.
Oh, wow. And there's something that people can do. They don't have to quit their jobs, right?
No, no, I would suggest you don't do that.
Yeah.
um,
Have more
yeah.
money coming in.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of treat it like a savings plan. If you could have, and that's the biggest thing I've noticed. A lot of traders, they lose money because they're trying to make money, and they're trying to rush
Yeah,
the market.
yeah,
And I stopped thinking in dollars and started thinking in percentages. Because if you have a
yeah,
$100 account and you made 10%, it's not very much. But if you have
yeah.
$1 million account and you made 10%, you're just game over, right? And so
Exactly.
my semi-automatic indicator, we're going to be running into beta with Avoria, and so we'll be betaing that for 30 to 60 days, and then it should be on the platform. But for now, we've got several automated softwares as well as the Arrow indicator. And Nathan, as far as education goes, like he's been training far longer than I have, and he's got a whole series of boot camps, and it's really cool because we've got a team of traders and then a team of very very green people, and there's an excellent support system that is just integrated in the whole ecosystem, and it's really cool to be a part of.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
And how long would you say it takes somebody to actually learn the skill? I mean, I know it, 10,000 hours, but
Yeah.
to start being profitable that you've seen on average
It
with
really
people you worked
depends.
with.
It really does depend on how much time you're putting in and what kind of strategy you're following. Um,
I
you
guess
know,
that should have been the question I should have asked. How
yeah,
much time should somebody dedicate on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, to
yeah.
actually learn the skill as quick as possible?
I would say set aside an hour a day. An
An
hour a
hour a
day.
day? That's not bad at all.
No, 5 days a week. And when you have a platform where you can actually get on with the live educators, it really makes a big difference, especially when it's not really diluted. When you have, I've seen platforms where there's 100 educators and you don't know where to go. When it's
Yeah.
really the system is really funneled and focused, it makes it a lot easier. So pick a strategy, pick an educator, stick with them until you either know you like it or you don't like it, and then pick something else apart.
You
Um,
know, you know what? That's key. That's key, and I hope everybody heard that because that's been probably. I've been in business for over 15 years. I mean, yeah, I'm 27 years old. I started my first business at like 10, and I think that's probably one of the biggest thing in my life that I feel like I failed at. Trying to listen to too much people at once,
Mm-hmm.
right? For the past, couple years, I've just been focusing on one or two mentors, and I'm telling you, that was like brilliant, man, because it's so true. It's so
Mm-hmm.
true. So I mean, for anybody that's listening to have a platform, if you're interested in learning on trading, to where it's not going to be hundreds of, like you said, hundreds of educators.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's key, man. So that's pretty cool. Now, I do want to go back a little bit in time.
Yeah.
Tell us about Josh's childhood growing up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You gonna make it all teary eyed or
No, no, no.
no? Yeah, I had a good childhood. I think looking back now, I feel like along the lines of that mentorship, I've found a lot of really amazing people who have helped me kind of process what's happened and understand it and come to terms with it. And yeah, really, really close with my mom, really close with my dad. I've
Nice.
got great relationships with my sister. I got two younger sisters, and my mom and my dad split up when I was younger. I think I was like 4. So I've actually pretty lucky. I've got two dads. I got a stepdad, and his side of the family is like I've got 16 cousins that are between the ages of like 5 and 15, and
Wow.
his whole family. We've got a place out on the lake, and actually just went to a family reunion. And so without that split, like I wouldn't have that second family.
That's awesome.
And becoming an adult and just kind of appreciating where my dad was in his life and understanding like, holy shit, if I was there, there's some resentment that you build up. I think when you're a
Of
kid,
course. Yep.
my mom making me eat vegetables and shit, and just why we didn't have this or that or whatever. And so, yeah, well, I was always a troublemaker. I was always a class clown. I was always getting in trouble. I was in the office in school more than I was when I was younger, more than I was in class. And then I remember actually, I got sent to a North Shore school, and I got straight A's. I was not the
Wow.
troublemaker anymore. And
Wow.
it just shows you your environment is key, right? Like I was king of the shitheads over here. You know what I mean? And so I was low key. Yeah, kind of segueing into um, getting a little older. I was never really the most athletic person. I was always pretty social, but I think graduating and coming out of my shell, and I got into a lot of trouble. I actually one of the I worked with kids, and like I was saying earlier that I went through probably every job in the book, and something a big turning point. I know you didn't ask this, but it's kind of coming up. I actually got in trouble. I did a little network marketing on the other side of the law, and I got in trouble for it. And I remember being like outside of court and being like, "Holy shit!" I remember looking out the window, and I think about this every day. I'm like, "What am I gonna do?" And one of my mentors, it's funny because I was like, it was conflicting with my morals. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore,
Yep.
and I had decided to stop. I was like, I'm done. And then a little time goes by, and yeah, I realized, holy shit, I'm broke, and that was a real supplement on my income. And then I, started up again, and I got in trouble, and then I actually stopped. It was actually yeah, I had a conversation with a police officer that I didn't know was a police officer, and I had this conversation. Said, "No, I'm done." And yeah, and then I remember I get a call, and I go down to the police station, and it was just super casual. I remember talking with the guy, and he told me his name was like Metatron or something, and I was like, "You sound like a transformer." And it was really casual. Like it was like I remember sitting in my car afterwards and being like, "What just happened?" And then 6 months go by, and I'm going to court, and they're like, "This is you don't have a blemish on your criminal record." And so I'm very, very lucky
Wow.
that I wasn't in trouble. And I remember looking out the window. I think about this like every day and being like, "What am I gonna do?" And kind of touching on what I said with one of my mentors. I was like, I don't know anything else. I don't know what to do. I got out of high school, out of a relationship, and I rebelled. And all my friends were doing what we were doing and partying, and it just kind of segued into. And it was more of a spiritual component. It was like I
Yeah.
was using these tools to advance and And yeah, and I remember him saying, like, if you just trust, you have to have faith, something will come up. And I was
Yeah.
holding on to this thing, and this all segues into trading. And it was like so many
Wow.
times I wanted to quit trading. I was like, I'm done. I don't think
For
this is for
sure.
me. I don't know how to count pips. This is stupid. I'm losing money. And like, and a year and a half later, I'm like, holy shit, am I teaching people this? Like, this is crazy. So really gone from like gutter to wherever the heck it is I'm here now. So
Wow.
yeah, I know I segued out of your childhood question, but that kind of just flowed.
No, no, no. I mean that
Yeah,
was a childhood
yeah,
question, because those are the lessons that I feel like make us, right?
totally.
Um, I mean everybody has a different lesson, right? But until you actually go through that in life,
Yeah,
you don't have that turning point to wake up,
no,
right?
and
My
that's
my
yeah,
my kids were my turning point. You had your experience. I had my kid. I remember my kid about to be born, and I'm like, I need to get around people doing something successful. And that
yeah,
was it. I mean, I drove like 16, 18 hours across the country, and I'll never forget that day. I posted it on my social media, and I still think about that. How that was my turning point,
yeah.
finding out I was having a son. So, I mean, that's amazing. Now, what would you say some of your past jobs, corporate jobs in the past would be?
Yeah, yeah, corporate jobs. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, we won't dive too deep into that. That's too funny. Where I coach gymnastics. I worked with kids. My girlfriend and I ran a birthday party business. I was Spider-Man. I dressed up as Spider-Man for like I
I
really like
remember that.
almost like a decade, man. I worked with a.
Wow.
It's funny actually. I was sitting outside of the Husky, it was gas station in Canada, and this is when I smoked cigarettes, and I looked on Kijiji, which is like a job site, and I saw that they needed a Spider-Man, and I was like, "What is this real?" And I called, and it was actually a girl that I used to date in high school, and we connected, and I was like, "Yeah, 100%, I'm coming to try this suit on right now."
What?
And I drove down there and I tried it on. I volunteered for an event, and then I was just like, I always liked kids, but I was just starting to get it, working with kids.
Yeah.
I was going to work at a daycare, and they were like, "Well, we need somebody in our daycare here." And then that progressed from Spider-Man into daycare into coaching
Wow.
gymnastics, and I got my
Wow.
certifications. And yeah, I coached gymnastics and parkour, and then skip ahead like almost a decade. My girlfriend and I bought a badass suit and like a movie quality suit, and we started our own thing. We started
Wow.
handling superhero parties. That was just like actually pre-COVID. We have Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Black Panther, Batgirl, like the OG old school Batgirl and Wonder Woman,
Wow.
and um, yeah, Supergirl. I don't know if I said that. And yeah, super fun. I actually just had to. There was a lady that paid for a party like a year and a half ago, and I just had to go put the suit on the other day to honor our agreement. And I was like, oh
Wow.
man, I'm almost 30. I can't do this. I'm like a show clown. I was like, oh man, trader by day and like Spider-Man by night. I was like, nah, not down.
That's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
funny.
I yeah, I've gone tree planting. I used to actually sell duct cleaning, door to door sales, like cleaning furnaces,
Oh,
and
nice.
I loved that. That was fun. And I worked with a company that cut down trees under power lines. I've gone to the rigs. Did not last long.
Wow.
A few days. It was bad. I think it was really bad. I was so soft. I'm not. I'm still soft, but so I was like, I was like pre-19. I brought my Elmo with me. I was like, I remember calling
No way.
oh yeah, and cause I used to smoke weed like crazy. I don't now. I can't touch it. But I remember calling my mom because you're supposed to not smoke weed when you're up there, and like I smoked it every day, all of the time. And I somehow I'm a salesman. I'm not a rig worker. I talked my way into getting myself and my buddy a job. No drug test. We went up there, and I went
Oh,
through detox like 3 days. It was right before holidays, and I remember calling my mom and be like, "Well, I can't do this." And yeah, no, they didn't call me back. They didn't want me to come back. It
that's
was no
funny.
good.
And what would you say the least favorite job you had?
Well, I can't even count that one. That was definitely the one, but I didn't. That's not even long enough. I hated that. It was so bad. The driller was so mean to me. Yeah, like, oh man, it was bad. It was so fucking mean. My least favorite job. I don't know. Probably that one, to be honest. I went tree planting. That was hard. I didn't last. I was like, I don't want to do this. This is terrible. I one day I went and tree planted without a shirt on, and I
Like literally tree planting?
like planting trees. Yeah, like throwing a shovel in the ground, opening a hole, putting a tree, closing it, next one. Like there were people that were like planting like 4,000 trees a day. I think my highest day was like 400. It was hard. Like it was crazy.
400. That's still
Yeah,
a lot.
I was terrible though, dude. You get paid like 11 cents a tree. It was bad. Like it was not. Yeah. And but one day I went up. I went out without a shirt on, and it looked like I came back and it looked like I had leprosy because all the noceums. It was just like these little tiny bites, and so,
What
yeah,
is that? Animals?
yeah. No, they're like little bugs. They're like little mosquitoes almost, and it looked like
Oh
little
man.
red dots. Like it looked like I had chicken pox.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
All right. And if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
Oh man. Like if I died tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could be, yeah. You know?
I mean, that's what you're remembered.
Yeah. If I can remember for one thing, probably being.
You said like if I died tomorrow?
Are you planning something?
No.
Well, probably being super outrageous. Like, yeah, that's not that I would want to be, but I know that that's what I would be. Is that my friends and family, like they know I'll just say anything at any
Yeah,
time.
that's how I would remember you.
Yeah.
All right, this is gonna be funny. How would your parents describe what you do?
Oh man. I don't think my mom could. She'd probably like buying and selling money.
Oh man, that's funny.
My dad actually, it's funny because my dad, when I first got into this, he was like, no, you shouldn't invest, blah, 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 whatever. And now he's like running the software. So he wants to learn how to trade. I think he more wants to learn how to, I think he wants to make money in the markets more than he actually wants to learn how to trade.
Yeah.
Those things are very different, right? But yeah. You want to go to the Olympics, or do you want to just be famous because you were in the Olympics? Like, do you want to put the work in? Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. All right, and if you can go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Just do exactly everything the exact same. I know that sounds crazy.
No, I hear you. I mean, everything that happened in your life, my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it was meant to happen.
Yeah. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing exactly what you think you should do.
And what does your morning routine look like?
Yeah. So usually I'll wake up. I've got some nootropics that I take. I'll take that relatively immediately. I'll probably on a weekday, I try to wake up anywhere between 5 and 6:30. And yeah, take my morning pills, do my morning number 2, and have a I mean, it's in there, right? You got to do it. Have a shower, and then I have a drink that I make too. It's I like beta alanine and L-carnitine and stuff. It just helps my brain activate, and then sit down and have a good half-hour meditation, trade for a couple hours, and then stretch and do yoga and roll, and then I'll usually get on calls throughout the day or go to the gym or do stuff outside. Or
how is that yoga?
It's good, man. It's I used to do
I've
it
been
like
invited.
it's great. It's great, man. Like I used to do hot yoga like religiously, and it's a game changer when you can like. The idea behind it is that your practice on your mat is replicated in your life. So like there's some weird shit that you do in class. It's hard. It's hard.
I know.
So if you can be in those positions, it's not about getting in those positions. It's like more the mental frame of staying in that and doing something you don't want to do. And then you take that principle outside. And when you don't want to do things, it's easier to do them. It's weird.
I'm practicing that with my showers right now. I'm taking cold showers.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's made me any tougher, but
what's his name? Wim Hof? There's like a whole breath work stuff around cold showers and breathing and like the energetic process. It's crazy.
I mean, I can tell you one thing though. I started like 2-3 weeks ago, and now I get in and it's not even that cold anymore.
Yeah,
like, it's just
totally.
So that's pretty cool. And if you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh. One meal?
The off the wall questions, baby.
Oh man, one meal for the rest of my life. Probably we make these. I can't really eat them anymore because I can't eat bananas very often. It just doesn't feel good. But we make these oat these oat pancakes with bananas and peanut butter,
What?
and they're so good.
What?
It's just like blended up oats, eggs, and then blended up bananas, and then you make them into pancakes, and then put peanut butter and then more bananas. It's like,
That's awesome. And last question before I let you go. What do you think the world would look like in 5 years?
oh, fuck.
Freaking Civil War.
Yeah, dude. It could, it could go either way. There's this concept that you have to, and I imagine you get this, is you have to destroy old structures before you can rebuild. And I feel like our world is going through that process. We've got so many systems.
Without going too political.
Yeah. No. We've got so many systems that don't work as far as renewable energy and recycling and all this. Not to go too deep into it, but we're watching this, my girlfriend and I, this documentary on Netflix with all people, Zac Efron, that Down to Earth.
Oh wow.
And he talks about, like, he goes to Iceland and they're using, renewable energy sources, but to like heat up the entire village through volcanoes.
I've heard of that.
And man, and like in France, their water system powers everything, and so it could be either apocalyptic or it could be this like utopia. So it's either dystopia or utopia. I'm hoping. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm hoping for the later one.
All
Or
right, man. That was awesome, man. Thank you for that. If anybody wants to find Josh, I mean, I'm gonna put all his info. Any last thing you want to say to anybody that could be watching, that
yeah,
wants to learn trading?
yeah. Well, I mean, thanks for having me on here, man. I'm always love, me. I always love talking. Sometimes maybe a little too much.
That was
Anybody
great. It was great.
that's looking to learn how to trade or is currently trading, definitely feel free to hit me up. I love talking this stuff, whether you run the platform or not. You just kind of want to shoot the shit. And if you're in the middle of trading and you want to quit, you're on the right path. Just keep doing your thing, because that's the biggest struggle is just not quitting. Because it is, some people, you say that it's not for everybody. If you want it bad enough, really, you could really do anything. And I know that's cliche, super cliche, but just keep your head down and keep doing it.
That was great, man. That was great. Well, hey, we'll keep in touch, brother, and
Sweet.
keep on trading and
Yeah.
keep on changing the world, buddy.
Thanks,
All right.
man.
Take care, man.
Peace.
All right, y'all. So there you have it. Forex trader. So yeah, if anybody wants to learn how to trade, if anybody needs some help, go ahead and contact him. I already put all his info down below. Other than that, if you are looking for health insurance, you hate your plan, or you don't have it because you think it's too expensive, go ahead and give me a call and I can help you shop around. See you guys later.